Hey, what's up, y'all? Mr. Cruz here, back with another video, man. Today, I'm showing you guys a video that I was not expecting to make, but I'm excited to be able to talk about this with you guys. The Wu-Tang TV show on Hulu, the series. Yo, Wu-Tang and American Saga. I've been binge watching the show all weekend. So we've only got 4 episodes, which I'm kind of I get that they're kind of doing it the Handmaid's Tale way, where like they're releasing a different episode every week, man. But I wish they would just do the Netflix way and just release all the episodes at once. Because one thing I wish I could have done this weekend is just binge watch every episode. Because man, the show is good. So right off the bat, let's just get into it. All right. For starters, no matter what, the who was it? Ashton Sanders, the guy who plays Bobby Diggs, who plays RZA, and TJ Adams, the guy who plays Asan or ODB. Those two guys steal the show. Like, they are definitely the best part of the show. As far as like the acting chops, like everybody on the show does a pretty good job. I would say everybody except the guy who plays Dennis. Like, I just kind of feel like and I'm not sure that's his fault. It's really like the writing or maybe the direction that the director is kind of giving him as far as like his character developing and the way his character reacts to certain situations. It seems like way over the top and way overacting in a sense. But even that is pretty small compared to how everybody else in the show is doing. Like, yo, the show is so legit. So anyways, let's start from the beginning. This show, from my perspective, it's chronicling the story of how Wu-Tang kind of came to be, how we ended up with all 12 members of Wu-Tang together. And obviously, like the big star of the show is RZA, because obviously RZA is the leader of Wu-Tang. And I don't know if you ever grew up with Wu-Tang, man, but I loved Wu-Tang growing up. I kind of got into them a little bit later in life, so I was probably in my early teens when I was like really starting to like them. My favorite, I mean, I think a lot of people's favorite was like Method Man. So I'm gonna just exclude Method Man, but on top of Method Man, loved Raekwon. Loved GZA. GZA's album was dope. Loved Inspector Deck. RZA's Bobby Digital album was like on repeat in my house when that thing came out. So I definitely have a lot of love and a lot of admiration for Wu-Tang. But considering that, like, back then, we didn't have internet, we didn't have access to things the way that we do now, where it's like, if I want to find out some more about A Boogie, I can just go on Wikipedia him and find out, like, what's his life story, how did he come to be, where was his big break. We didn't know that back then about Wu-Tang, and obviously I could have known about it now, but I'm glad that I'm figuring it out this way through the show and through this narrative that's being told. So from what I can tell, one thing that I'm finding difficult about the show is telling who is who, because from the looks of it, they're obviously like kind of using pseudonyms for some of the characters. So I'm kind of having a hard time following who is who. Like, I know who RZA is, I know who ODB is. Like, if you can't tell TJ Adams is ODB when he's on the screen, like, bro, you just blind. And dude, the way he portrays ODB is just like, it's so good. Like, it is so good. Like, anytime that dude is in a scene, like, he steals the scene. He's the only person that you're focused on. I can tell who Raekwon is, and I'm not quite sure who Dennis is supposed to be, but I'm assuming that Dennis is supposed to be Ghostface. And obviously you can tell who Method Man. And bro, Dave East, like, I've never known Dave East. I've never seen him in any kind of like acting role. But what I've seen in here so far has been really good. Like his scene when they're in the store and he was like, "Who are you?" Like, assistant manager. Like that was it was dope. But so far, I'm definitely loving the show. Got nothing but praise for it. Even outside, I was telling a friend of mine at work, even outside of it being associated with Wu-Tang, if this was just a show that was on Netflix, that was a Netflix original, I don't know, you could call it like, Staten Island Stories or the Staten Island Chronicles or whatever, I still would have watched the show and I still would have liked it and enjoyed it, even set apart from the Wu-Tang narrative that is obviously like kind of driving the force and probably is a lot of inspiration behind getting a lot of people to tune into view, because obviously Wu-Tang has been around for ages. They've got a huge following. they not on top of that, but like they've got cultural influence too. You know, I believe it was a couple years ago where like they had a street named after them in Staten Island. So I mean, you don't get to that point by not being an icon in not just the hip hop industry, because there are, you know, obviously people in the hip hop industry who have sold more records, who have, you know, bigger fan bases, who do bigger tours, who, you know, have bigger revenue streams as far as like merchandise and albums and tours and stuff like that. But the cultural impact that they had on hip hop is so huge that probably the only way to be able to share it in a narrative way on TV is to have this huge long series that we're kind of getting right now. So again, I'm only 4 episodes in, but I am loving the show. It's so dope. It's so good. Like the cinematography, the writing is on point. Like the people that they have portraying the people that they're supposed to is like, I'm amazed at how well, like the dude who played Rakim at that concert. Yo, for a second, like when the camera was far back away, like it looked like Rakim. Like he had the hairstyle and everything. It was dope. And one of the other things that I really like as a producer, here's one of my favorite parts of the show, is that I knew growing up that RZA was a producer, that he made a lot of the beats that, you know, Wu-Tang rapped over, that made it onto Wu-Tang albums. But seeing a lot of that behind the scenes journey of him, like, you know, messing with his drum machine, and then like really coveting this SP 1200 that he wanted to use to make drums, that he wanted to use to like make beats and make demos, and being in the studio and like seeing this guy who like his brother has beef with, and being like, hey man, you should come to the studio, like let's record, or, you know, in the middle of this, you know, I don't know, strong arming this guy in like some store. He's sitting there talking to Method Man, like, yo, you should come to the studio, like let's record something. Like all of those experiences and like being able to see that and kind of putting myself in like those shoes. Cause like I remember the times that I've been at a party and some dudes are battling and be like, yo, like you should come to my house, like let's record and stuff like that. Even now I still do that. You know, I still go to local concerts and I see somebody who I think is like super dope, and we're like, yo man, we should link up, like let's make some fire together. So knowing that that's kind of like the drive that RZA had back when he was younger, knowing that he had that drive back when he was younger, is super awesome and inspiring to see. Because obviously, like, look where he is now. You know, like the dude was starring in movies with like Batista and stuff like that. He did the score for Kill Bill, and now he's like executive producing this show, which is like nuts. But I really enjoy seeing those behind the scenes aspects of like his frustration with the machine that he previously had, and like his him wanting to do what he can to like steal certain items so that he can have better equipment and stuff like that. It's just so amazing, and the willingness to be able to set aside beef so that they can collaborate and focus on music. Because obviously, as somebody who grew up listening to his music, knowing that that's the desire and the drive that he had, like refuels an inspiration in me to, you know, kind of keep forward. So as a producer, I really love seeing that aspect of the show. I wish it had more, but obviously, like if you have that much, like there's not a lot of room to tell the narrative of other people. I would say out of all the characters' storylines, I'm definitely enjoying Bobby's, which is RZA's. I'm enjoying seeing his story play out. I'm enjoying seeing Divine's story play out, and obviously if you've seen episode 4, like we kind of get some history to the events that kind of started out the show, like the opening scene of the show. And I'm really enjoying seeing Raekwon's stories play out, and I'm thinking it's Raekwon. I'm pretty sure it's him, but I'm really liking that aspect as well. Now at this point, not really a spoiler, but like at this point, we haven't seen all the members of Wu-Tang, and I'm pretty confident that they're all going to make an appearance in some way, shape, or form. But obviously with a series like this, there's not enough room, not enough time to be able to share everyone's individual story, or to kind of have these like little different story arcs, kind of like the way they had in Lost, where every episode was a different character's focus. We're not getting that here. It's mainly and it's really truly focused on Bobby and his journey to kind of build on his dream and to pursue this goal of, you know, making music. but it's definitely exciting. It's got me on my toes. I'm definitely anticipating the next couple episodes and kind of seeing where they go from here. And what I also have found to be super creative is the way that they change things around in the episodes. So they bring in animation at some points. They had this really weird, kind of trippy, like first person perspective from somebody, and it was just things like that they kind of do that it's pretty mind blowing, because you kind of sit down and you think that you're watching a drama, but then something jovial and something light is kind of introduced, but it's being used to introduce something that's going to be grim and pretty tragic. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. If you guys have seen it, if you guys anticipate seeing it, I'm definitely excited to see more episodes. Hopefully they come out soon. I mean, I haven't even seen what days they're coming out. I just kind of found some time this weekend to be able to watch through them. Stayed up till like 2 o'clock one day watching them, and can't wait for more episodes, man. But I've also heard about Hip Hop Evolution, and I want to catch up on that too. So I want to be able to do, but I'm anxious for Wu-Tang. I want some more Wu-Tang. Know what I mean? But anyways, let me know in the comments below if you guys have watched it, if you guys are, if you guys plan on checking it out. On top of that, let me know below in the comments, who was your favorite Wu-Tang member? Like, you can't just say like, oh, I really dug so-and-so, but like you never bought one of their albums or you never listened to one of their albums. And I know that like not everybody in the Wu-Tang clan like had like a banger album that everybody bumped, but like most of them did. You know, we had Iron Man, Supreme Clientele, Tikal, Bobby Digital, Inspector Deck. I didn't listen to Inspector Deck's album, but like I remember his album, and I remember I had Jizz's album. I just don't remember what it was called. So anyways, let me know in the comments below who your favorite Wu-Tang member was. Know what I mean? All right. Look forward to the next video. Hopefully once all 10 episodes, I believe, are finally out, I'll do another I'll do another video reviewing the rest of the episodes, the rest of the season, and let you guys know what my thoughts on it. All right, Mr. Cruz out.